How's everybody doing today?
Good. I hope this is not too personal for you, but Coach Smart just dropped on us that you guys were doing those goals. They having you write it down, put it on a board, and then have you live up. What do you think of that exercise, number one, and would you reveal what was on your cards and what you have stood up and say you're trying to get better at?
Yeah, I can talk about it a little bit. So it's really just getting you, give you something to work for that week. Mine was really just playing blocks better, having better eyes, having better feet, staying on my blocks a little longer, letting the backers work a little bit. So I know that kind of plays in hand to hand with everybody, because everybody from every group has something they need to work on. So I think it's a big step for us going into this new week.
So, just how would you assess how the defensive line as a whole has played through 3 games, and what area do you feel like you guys need to improve the most going forward?
I feel like we played together as a collect group, but I feel like we have to stop the run a little bit more. We haven't really been tested like that as much as we thought, but we know it's coming down the road. We got some big teams coming up, so we got to get ready for that.
I know Coach Smart, whenever he talks about Darnell Washington, talks about the way he's able to displace, opposing defenders. I was wondering, all the time you've seen that practice in the last couple of years, do you have an example of maybe when he displaced one of his own teammates?
Shoot, last week I'll say for sure, he put his hands on me a little bit. He felt like when he's in there blocking, he's really like an extra offensive tackle. So but being 6'7", 280, that's kind of him. So he's got to use that to his game, and I feel like he does.
Simon, you're a guy that's kind of had to wait your turn a little bit in this program. You see guys like Stetson and Dan that started their careers walk-ons and are now have worked their way up the depth chart. Did that kind of validate for you if I buy into the process and everything, eventually I'll have success here?
Mm-hmm. Like, and it's just like it's also getting respect from your peers. When you see guys like Dan Jackson, who's worked his tail off, he came in with me, worked his tail off from day one. Like he was a silent guy, just kept his head down and worked. So when you see that, it's kind of like, okay, I know I can depend on him and trust him.
So Kirby talked a lot about how important it is for pressure to be placed so that way you guys can get turnovers. I think he said pressure creates turnovers. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a bit more about that focus on getting pressure on the quarterback and making sure that the offense is making mistakes so that way you can capitalize off of your defense?
Yeah, pressure plays a big role in every game that we play now, because everybody wants to make us one-dimensional. So whenever the quarterback's just sitting there he got all the time in the world, we got to find a way to get pressure in him. So like last week, we wanted to get Spencer off his point a lot. We really didn't, but we just got to keep working on that.
Zion, with a lot more media attention kind of flowing the past couple of weeks, with y'all being the #1 ranked team, you being one of the vocal leaders on the team and having experienced all that pressure, especially last season, what do you kind of tell those younger guys who are experiencing it maybe for the first time this year?
Don't look at it as pressure. Just look at it as you're getting prepared for it every week. Like I'll say, our practices are harder than our games. Like when we make it that way, because so by the time Saturday gets here, you've seen every play, you've seen everything that they can do. Now you just got to go react and play.
Speaking of those younger guys, what have you seen from Michael Williams this fall?
Say it one more time.
Speaking of those younger guys, what have you seen from Michael Williams this fall?
Just being a twitchy guy. He loves the contact. He loves to just play fast. And like when he puts some more weight on and gets like older, I'll say he's gonna be a force to reckon with.
So when Kirby was in here, he was talking about some of the younger guys like Bear going up against the first team and what a challenge that is. And he brought up what that was like for you these last few years. What was that challenge like, just as you were trying to improve and having the task of going up against guys like Justin Schaefer and some of those guys?
Shoot, 2019, that was the year that molded me. Andrew Thomas, Solomon Kinley, Trey Hill, K. Mays, or Ben Cleveland. Then you got Isaiah Wilson. So when you look across you and you see that line, it's nothing more that can prepare you for SEC football. So I feel like that really played a big thing in my life, because that's what I tried to make myself the first 2 years, a run stopper, and I felt like that's what kind of built me to who I am today.
What is it like playing with guys like Nolan Smith, who has like shown leadership on and off the field?
Shoot, no. Nolan's a character. You love him. Like he just brings that energy that the whole team needs. Like today, I was very down, and I heard him out there yelling, and I was like, "Come on, you got to get up, you got to go." So he plays a big role in that.
Speaking of Barry and Kristen, what have you seen from them? You know, just watching them develop.
Both of them got a long way to go. They're both very talented. Like when they just gotta trust the plan, trust what our coaches are telling them, and just keep working. Just go be who they are.
Can you talk a bit about your areas of growth and how you've grown as a leader in this defensive line?
Shoot, just leading by example. I try to say. So whether it's cheering my guys on, whether it's out there leading by example, actually striking guys, actually running to the football, actually knowing my assignments, executing my assignments. I feel like that plays a big role in if people listen to you, if they'll take you serious or not. So when you do that, I feel like it'll play into your hand well.
Kirby was talking about Darius Smith yesterday as a big guy that's playing some in space. What have you seen from him that says he's kind of cross-training this outside linebacker or safety star kind of hybrid position?
He's just a freak athlete. It kind of reminds me of Adam Anderson a little bit, but like when I actually went back and watched Darius running in track, it's crazy. Like somebody that big can run that fast, it can cover tight ends, also could possibly cover a slot receiver. It's just when he learns actually how to play the position, he's going to be very good.
I'm not asking to give away any kind of state secrets or anything, but when you look at what the offense has done, what we've seen the offense do so far through 3 games, and what you've seen during practice and fall camp leading up to now, how much more is on the plate that they can possibly do the rest of the year?
Shoot, I don't doubt Todd Monken. Todd Monken gonna pull anything out. So it'll be some plays. There's been some plays in practice that you're just like, where did that come from? So he's a very intelligent person when it comes to dialing up stuff, and I think he's just gonna keep building on it throughout this year.
Just a quick follow-up. Whenever you talk to some of your offensive teammates, what kind of comments do you hear from them about Coach Monken and the mad scientist aspect, I guess, he kind of brings?
They love him. They love the energy that he brings. He's kind of like a father to a lot of them, and like they don't like him at times, but like you can't not love Monken. But it's just you kind of take him with a grain of salt sometimes.
So what has stood out to you about Jamon, how he's played through the first few games this year?
He's a flash. He's a flash guy. Like he doesn't really talk a lot, but when he talks, he definitely backs it up. So I think as long as he just keeps playing like that along this year, he's gonna be great.
You talked about how you and Dan kind of came in together. What was your reaction watching back his interception from Saturday?
I think I was actually in on that play, and I seen it thrown. So I'm turning and looking, and I just see him go up and take it away from the guy. I'm just like, wow. Like, and I've seen him make plays like that in fall camp. He's a ball hawk. He really loves being around the ball. He's a leader back there when he's out there, and I think everything's just falling in his lap right now.
So they typically say that when you get more experience, the game kind of slows down for you. Can you talk a bit about how you see the game now as opposed to when you first came into Georgia?
It definitely slows down. Like little things we talk about throughout the week, as not as a whole defense, but as a defensive line group. We go through and we look at how light is he on his hand, how heavy is he on his hand, things like that. So when you use those things to your advantage, it makes the game easier. It makes the game slower for you.
You mentioned Nolan being a character. He seemed like he talked about his truck a lot. Does he ever bring that up?
That Ford Raptor is his life. That is, but yeah, he's one of those guys, man. He loves doing what he loves going outside. He loves being outside in the elements. So I feel like that truck really fits him.
Let's take two more questions. One more. Okay, thank you.
Thanks,